she still can't even stand.
She's so wobbly.
Zhang Weili is furious.
She's upset. The 100%. 100%.
Oh, good to be with you, everyone. Welcome into the Sunday morning edition of Axe Cake Picks, episode 136. Today is Sunday, September 8th, 2024. NFL is here, but we are here to talk about mixed martial arts. Joey, how the hell you doing, kid?
Hey, does it look like I had a rough night? I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does. On a bender, huh?
No. Just, it's just how this weekend went, stressing over how the fantasy team's going to do. And then just the occurrences of what UFC Vegas 97 was. And I went over in Bellator. So the last thing I went before bed was just seeing everyone lose.
Nice.
So got up on the wrong side of the bed, but I'm still in good spirits.
Love to hear it. Yeah, I mean, if NFL is here, if you're not happy today, I don't know what to tell you, kid. Dak got paid about 5 minutes before we went on air.
DeMar?
No, DeMar. Dak Prescott and Tyreek Hill got arrested. So
what?
Detained by police, and then he came out and said, I want to be a police officer. This is a crazy world we live in.
Simulation.
Yeah, we're living in one. But UFC Vegas 97, what a performance by Sean Brady. We'll talk about that. He's the real deal. I told you, Usman Nurmagomedov, what a dominant performance, I thought. And yeah, we got Dana White Contender Series a little later on in the week. And then I want to pay tribute towards the end about a legend that just retired. But we will start UFC Vegas 97. What a performance by Sean Brady. Unanimous decision over Gilbert Durinho Burns. I mean, I thought it was a masterclass. Even the one guy who scored it a 49-46, I don't know if I even thought that. I scored it 50-45. Times 3. I thought Sean Brady, his striking wasn't as, I guess, powerful, but it was more technical. It always looked like Gilbert Durinho Burns was looking for that knockout punch, and it just never was landing. His wrestling, really good for Sean Brady, but yeah, overall, a really dominant performance. And I like the call out, calling Machado Gary out.
Yeah, it was a great call out. Yeah, he's becoming conscious of where he is in his point in his career. And yeah, it was impressive performance. You get a win over, I guaranteed a 38-year-old Durinho Burns, but dude was a title challenger. Dude has fought the who's who division, world-renowned jiu-jitsu artist. And yeah, he just looked to be the crisper fighter Sean Brady did yesterday, man. It was tough to see a little bit. I know every round I scored for Sean Brady. I know there's an argue about the third, quite possibly Durinho could have won, but I don't think it was close enough. I don't think he did much throughout the, the fight to even come close to winning a scorecard. So, man, kudos to Sean Brady, man. We thought, obviously I said the MMA math of him fighting the champ. We thought that, his losing would derail his career, but, can't take it away from these guys, these tough fighters where they have a career loss or the first one in their undefeated mixed martial arts career, and they go on to do better things. And Sean Brady can be one of them, still in the prime of his life, still, aiming for that title. And, losing to a guy like Belal Muhammad, who is now the champ, may give you a little confidence to try to get it back, whether it's him that's still there or someone else. But yeah, getting a win over Gilbert Burns is huge for his career, and he's on his way up.
100%. I mean, a lot of people, I guess, called him a fraud or fraud check, I guess, whatever you want to call it, after losing to, which now is the champion, kind of resonating into a really good loss. I mean, he goes out there last December, submits Kevin Gastelum. Then he comes out here and really dominates a guy like Gilbert Durinho Burns. So, yeah, 2 really impressive wins. Do you like the challenge into the top 5? I know Machado Gary's at 7, but you like that matchup for Sean Brady?
I don't know if they'll get it. I do like it. I like to see him to mix it up a little bit in there. So let's maybe pump the brakes on it a little bit. I don't know. I feel like this is a title fight in the future. Also, maybe with JDM. These are like the 3 young and upcoming guys in this division that can make a name for themselves. Maybe I'm missing the biggest one in Shavkat, but it just seems that the next generation of welterweight fighters is already here. And the fact that they're starting to call each other out just, is going to give us the fights we want to see. So, I would like to see it, but I just don't know if the UFC is going to go for it just yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. It all depends on what the UFC wants. I don't know if they want that either. I think that's a really good fight. I mean, he's going to move up to number 6, Sean Brady. Ian Machado's right under him. Colby doesn't want to fight anyone. I think Jack Della Maddalena is going to fight Shavkat, honestly. And I think, here's my bold take, I think the bigger fight now, you could say Shavkat deserves it, which I think he does deserve. But I think a bigger fight and a more legacy fight for Bilal is fighting the ex-champ Kamaru Usman. They
Yeah.
can each other out. They got that little, I guess you so-called beef going on Twitter. I like that a little more than I do the Shavkat fight. What do you think?
Man, I like Shavkat fight a lot. I feel like the man deserves it, you know? Like we can't deny him and his greatness and where he's going. So if we want to not have him go towards, you know, directly getting the shot, I think that is something we need to see, because I want to start, if we're already at the next generation of these fighters, I want to start seeing us eliminate some of the guys that, you know, are in to the top 5 and who's going to be our like definitive champ next. And I mean, I'm not trying to glance over Belal Muhammad. He could nip all of that in the butt. You know, everyone that's trying to make a name for himself now, he may, you know, be a dominant champ to come. We have yet to see. So, yeah, I think there's a lot more to come for the welterweights.
I mean, we saw it in this division when Belal Muhammad, he won at 288, a number one contender fight, and still got passed up. So there is a possibility history could repeat itself. Yeah. That Shavkat, even though I agree he is the most deserving, I don't think necessarily it's the biggest fight, though, to make. I think Kamaru Usman and Belal Muhammad is a bigger fight. Now, I do think Shavkat deserves it, but there's a chance that they might pass over him as well. You know, the language barrier, he doesn't speak English. It's hard to resonate to the American crowd as well, even though a lot of Americans love him and they love his fighting style. I know Boogeyman 18-0, 18 finishes, but you know, you check a guy like Kamaru Usman, a future Hall of Famer, off your list. That's a huge win for Belal Muhammad. So I think that might be the direction they go. We'll see. But I love the Ian Gary call out, and shout out Sean Brady. Looks like a much different fighter after losing.
Evolved.
Yes, 100%. And talking about getting a win off for a future Hall of Famer,
Evolution.
Our girls, Natalia Silva, what a performance she put on. A clinic for 3 rounds against Jessica Andrade. I mean, 30-27 times 3, I scored it. I mean, her technician, her speed, the way she was going in and out of the pocket, dancing for all 15 minutes. I mean, credit Jessica Andrade because she kept going, but like, man.
If you can stand in bed with Andrade, I just think that just bodes well for what we expect from Natalia Silva, right? You and I have high expectations for this one, and I mean, she just has like a 5th, 6th gear that other fighters doesn't have, and she's able to keep the quickness up into the later rounds. She's a serious threat, man, and she looked really good because Jessica Andrade, we saw the significant output that she could put. It didn't phase Natalia. So if there's anything she did better, she might have matched her significant strike output and done a little bit more, and also to be able to throw those kicks, the spinning attacks, just everything. And I do feel like she still has good grappling and good jiu-jitsu. We haven't really seen it be tested too much, man. Natalia Silva, no, it was a unanimous decision, and we don't necessarily be giving shots and not even contracts in Dana White Contender Series to get to the show. We need finishes here. I think that was a great, amazing performance. And man, if we, like I said prior to this recap, you know, our last episode, if we need new injection, new blood into, you know, the title picture, I think now you could throw Natalia Silva in the mix.
100%. I mean, now she enters the top 5 with that win against, you know, a former champion, a future Hall of Famer, a pioneer in Jessica Andrade. I figure what's next for her. That's 11 in a row consecutively, 6-0 in the UFC. I think she gets a Macy Barber. She gets someone, or she waits. I mean, after the fight, she said, "Dana, I'm coming for the belt," and I believe her. A lot of women are scheduled. You know, you got that fight next week between Alexa Grasso and Valentina. Manel Fior, she's going to be the backup fighter. All signs lead to her getting the next shot. You got Aaron Blanchfield and Rose. The only person that's left is Macy Barber. Do you like a fight with Macy Barber in the future for a number 1 contender fight?
I like a fight with her, to be honest, not to be, you know, messed up to Manny Fiorot. I mean, she seems to be the test. And if Manny needs one more fight as well, I mean, that you could square them together, you know, also maybe pump the brakes on cutting out what should get the next title shot with Manny Fiorot or the winner of, you know, Rose. And the fight that she has against is who again? That she's coming up.
Aaron
Rose.
Blanchfield.
And Aaron Blanchfield. So, yeah, I mean, you could have her fight the loser. I mean, like we said that plenty of times for these girls. There's a lot that he could do in the division, but you could have her fight the loser of Alexa Grasso and Shevchenko. If Shevchenko loses and she sticks around, I think there's a lot of matchmaking you can do with her.
Or she goes and Valentina wins and they do a fourth fight. And then
We did argue that, yeah.
And then I agree. Then she fights Manel Fior for the number one and then
they can't have her stagnant doing nothing.
No, you can't do that. Or she fights Macy Barber. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, amazing fight. She got fight of the night bonus as well. And I love the speech that she made afterwards. She lost her sister 4 months ago and she lost her to drugs. So made that speech. If anyone is dealing with drug addiction, reach out to her. Your life is precious and everything. So it was an amazing message afterwards. I mean, your boy, what a fight by Steve Garcia. Knocked him out, that spinning elbow in the first round. I mean, those boys at Jackson Wink, kid. I mean, he is legit.
Yeah, man. Last night, man, just like stole the show, man. After seeing him, get absorbed and get like taken down, I thought it was in for a long night. Getting backpacked right early. And just not seeing like that there was a way out, dude. As soon as he escaped from that spot and just wound up on top, dude, must have heavy hands, Steve Garcia, right?
100%.
He hurts people, bro, because it seems that when he makes a connection, no matter what time of the fight, he's hurting people and putting them in bad positions. And Kyle Nelson is no slouch, dude. For him to be in a dominant position, that quick turnaround and then getting iced, man. Bro, Steve Garcia's got something in his hands, bro. The Mean Machine lives.
100%. So, yeah, big win for him. He gets performance of the night over Kyle Nelson. And Cody Dern, 4 days notice. He said, had a little much to drink with my wife on Sunday after accepting the fight. But, all things, nothing comes without risking a little something in life in general, not just the fight game as well. He gets the ninja choke submission in the second round. And we'll get to Cody Dern in the moment, but, Matt Schnell, that's 3 in a row. He puts his gloves down. He didn't even want to talk. Emotional after the fight. It looks like he is done with the fight game. 14 fights in the UFC. Thoughts on a good career? I don't want to say great career, but good career. But I think the 2 consecutive knockouts and then the choke, it was time.
Yeah, man. I like Matt Schnell, man. He's had some rough patches, and some rough moments in the career. But, he was a, wicked jiu-jitsu guy. Get really good submissions throughout his career. He's always been a warrior. And a lot of the guys, granted he lost and he put the gloves down. Not a lot of guys can go out on their own terms. And I think that's what he did. He had the ability to still go on his own terms. And he made the grown-up decision for, not only his life and career, but, for his family and everyone else that's close to him. So yeah, it's tough seeing these guys retire. We saw a couple guys in one retire over the weekends, a couple guys in UFC.
Oh, it was retirement weekend.
And I think we also had maybe one in the Bellator, if I remember correctly.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of retirements going on. And that's the thing. If you don't have that fire anymore to, be the best version of yourself or go for a title, whatever's motivating you, then, you move on to, where you can water the pastures more, because the grass ain't greener on the other side. It's where you water it the most.
100%. So, yeah, what a career for Matt Schnell. And then my boy Yanel Ashmus defeated Trevor Peek. I thought Trevor Peek actually won the first round, but then after that, it looked like he was gassed. That was my worry. I said, if Trevor Peek gets him out of there in the first round, then it's going to be over. But kind of wild. That's the way I thought it was. Yanel was the more technical striker. He gets the win. Fights back in rounds 2 and 3. He gets my dog of the day, Cassius.
Dog of the day, bro. I mean, hey, great call. I can't blame you for taking him. I was going for the entertainment value. I kind of went with my heart over my brain. But not Ashmus, like I said, would match Trevor Peek and maybe the output and the power department, but he's just a little more technical. He trains, Sarah Longo guy. He trains probably with the better camp. No offense to wherever Trevor Peek's at, but it just seems that where he's, at in his point of his career, there's a lot of stuff that he would need to fix and go back to retooling and just they're just working off what they have. It's like the old like race car that you have in a garage. You don't really want to replace the entirety of it. But just going to work with what you got. So that's what they get with Trevor Peek, where he's still going to be exciting. You can hop in and go for a spin, but yeah, good call on that. Ashmus was the better fighter.
They said he cuts his own hair and he looks like the poster boy for the drink Mountain Dew. And I started hysterically laughing because it was like ideal. I mean, I haven't had Mountain Dew in Joe, I want to say 2-3 years.
I'm in the
least.
South. Just the other hour.
Oh, wow. I mean, I haven't had, but I remember when drinking it when I was younger, there was nothing like a Mountain Dew. Like, what is his name? Shaun White. I'm going home and drinking after this. The girl goes, drinking, you're 16. I'm talking about a cold Mountain Dew.
Yo, Baja Blast 2 smacks.
Oh, my God. Yeah, Mountain Dew. So, Mountain Dew, if you're looking for a poster boy, it's Trevor Peak, man. I'm telling you, there's a sponsorship out there for him. But overall, I thought it was a really good card. It was nice to get it out and early for Bellator. Isaac Dogarian, though, he might be the future kid. Strap a rocket to this kid. He gets the submission in the second round.
It was a bloody fight, man, but he found a way to get that finish. It definitely was good seeing him. A couple of those finishes, the submissions we had in the early portion.
Yeah, good call on Andre Lima. I mean, that was a barn burner with him and Felipe Dos Santos. I thought that was a good fight.
Could have gone either way. If more grappling on Dos Santos' part would have done him better.
And shout out Andre Petrosky. He gets a unanimous decision win over Dylan.
Did it hit my inside the distance? You know, I lost a couple on the early part, but I got it back in like the midst of the card towards the end. I think early on, I think I saw a little more entertainment value. Just because we had the 5 decisions in the main card, but the 2 finishes were great in the main card.
Yeah, overall, really good fight. Fight card ended 3-2. Was looking good going into the main event, but yeah, Gilbert Burns. I took a shot on the dog, didn't work, but we get there. Natalia Silva via decision over 2.5 rounds. Cody Duran over 2.5 rounds. He decided to end it a little earlier for me, but other than that, I hit on my boy Yanel. So 3-2 on the day. Profitable night in UFC. How did you do?
Yeah, man, 5-4. Yeah, nice. Not the best thing record-wise that I wanted to see. Definitely better than in Bellator. But
yeah,
you know what? We'll have something cooking for Noche, man. I think we needed UFC 306, excuse me, big time. And man, I'm just kind of just all ready for it, man. I need to get off whatever I've been on and the non-exciting. I need this pay-per-view, man. I need the pay-per-view back.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing, kid. We got UFC Noche or UFC Real Season, whatever the fuck you want to call it. UFC 306 at the Sphere. Yeah, not 307, kid. 306. O'Malley, Dvalishvili. So can't wait for that next week. But yeah, you mentioned Bellator. You went a little dog hunting yesterday, but Lorenzo Larkin, TKO first round. You got Aaron Jeffrey, unanimous decision 29-28 times 3 as well. And then in the main event, Usman Nurmagomedov, he won unanimous decision 50 times 45 and 49-46 times 2. I scored it 49-46 as well. I did think early on Alexander was competitive, but as it went on, Usman really took it over. And you heard Khabib in the corner, man. He was there. He said, listen, it was me. It's our brother Islam in the UFC, and Usman is next. Do you believe that?
I do, yeah. You know, after seeing that performance, man, you know, it's just like that the train of thought, like the school of fight that they're from, you know, it's just second to none. They're crazy what their work ethic is, what they're trying to go for. And yeah, man, he proved his point, you know, being the champion in another promotion. I think he can compete with the UFC ranks. You know, your Nurmagomedov guy's got the wrestling, the grappling, and it seems that he's really educated on the feet, man. Yeah, Usman's the real deal, man. We can't deny him. A win over Shabali proves a lot because that dude was no slouch in there. So, I saw Khabib corner a bunch of guys. You know, I think a lot of American wrestlers that we mentioned in the prelims won their fights, but he was in the corner for a lot of the Russian guys that they were fighting. So there are some losses for Khabib as a coach, but it seems that he has still an undefeated record when it comes to any of his brothers or cousins.
Yeah, and we are right back with Bellator as well. We got the London series at OVO Wembley as well. Headlined by Leah McCourt and Sarah Collins. I know it was Fabian Edwards was supposed to headline it, but they are going to reschedule that. But yeah, next week, Leah McCourt and Sarah Collins as well. So yeah, I can't wait for that as well. So we're back right over in Bellator next week. Are we going to continue the trend with the dog hunting next week, or are we going to switch it up a little bit?
Oh, man, no, we're going to definitely pump the brakes a little bit and just look at the board a little better. Granted, all these, you know, guys had amazing talent, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But you're dealing with some killers, like, you know, the second to fight that went in the main card, Sumiko Inaba, man, she looked really good against Mackenzie Siller, just different level with her aggression and striking. And then Lorenz Larkin just proving his point yet again. And normally I'm really good with predicting a Lorenz Larkin fight. Seeing what Chokeli did his last time out, thought he could, match the aggression and the knockout prowess that Lorenz Larkin offers. But bro, he keeps striking again. If you don't remember, man, UFC Lorenz Larkin was an assassin. Man, he was so dangerous. Elbows, knees, just every single strike you can throw, and he's made a name for himself outside of that even more so. So yeah, Lorenz Larkin, he's a guy you always got to watch out for.
Unfortunately, 0-4 on the night, 0-5. What did we do?
Hey, you know what? Pat me on the back because it's hard to do that. I went 0-5 on Bellator, dog hunting throughout the entire night. And man, I was looking for value, guy. I got maybe a little greedy hunting the plus money, but you know what? It's hard to go defeated.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we've all been there, and credit you. I mean, a lot of people, they only post their winners. We are transparent on this show. We tell our winners and we tell our losers as well. Transparency is key. And I would agree. Going defeated is very hard. Yeah. Sometimes you just stumble across a win. But yeah, going defeated is kind of tough. So yeah, got to look at the positives, kid. But we're right back at it next week. We got a huge card as well. Oh, by the way, 10 seconds left. How did we do over the weekend as well?
Hey. We made it a month, my boy. And we went for the triple header. I went 3-0, man. Everything hit, bro. I had the dogs barking. It was just a good night over everything besides Bellator. And I would even argue the UFC. Like I said, I went 5-4 in the UFC, but it's just not a night that I normally remember. I like having, less than 3 losses, having a lot of wins for you guys. So, like I said, for UFC Noche, man, 306, man, we're going to have the roof jumping.
I fucking love it, kid. All right. Well, we got 4 in a row. We got a month. So even though you got 0-5, the 3-0 with the little plus money kind of helped you out over the weekend. But before we get to Dana White Contender Series Week 5, we are halfway through it already. A quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the world, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick. Just like how we like our lives, whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys or an elderberry watching NFL Week 1, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with the Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at Axe Kick Picks and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to it. Dana White Contender Series Week 5, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Love it on a Tuesday night because we got Monday Night Football, nothing on Tuesday. So let's watch some fucking fights, baby. What do you got for us this week?
Yeah, I'm looking for an exciting weekend, man. A lot of changes in this Week 5 card. A lot going in store, and man, we hit big with the women last week, and the women do open up Week 5 of Dana White Contender Series this time around. It's the flyweight division. Corinne Laframboise is -129 that I saw against Nicole Kilari at -101, but I do not have an official play. I'm gonna stay away. From this one, the women could go either way, as closely contested. A lot of losses on both of these women's record, but they do have some finishing capability, and I see that's why they could make it to the show here. But I'm gonna just take that big plus money hit that with Dubin's knockout, highlight reel knockout last week, and just stay riding high for the women predictions. So yeah, I'm going to stay away from this first fight here.
That's not like you to stay away from a Contender Series, kid.
All right, man. You know what? There's always a first, and I think this is the right time to do it because I do have 4 consecutive after it.
I love it.
And now the next one is in the bantamweight division. I like this fight a lot. Both undefeated guys looking to get here. Otar Tanislov is -280 in this spot. He hunts a finish anytime he goes, but he's super talented. Another Georgian fighter. Georgia's on the rise, and I think a lot of people are overlooking that just because of what we're seeing from Marab, what we're seeing from Ilia Topuria, what we saw from, the Giga Kick and Giga Chikasi, all the Georgian fighters that are making their way up. I think, as we saw in Bellator last night, Levon Chokeli got knocked out. Josias Musasa is the knockout wizard, the KO wizard from Botswana. I'm thinking Botswana's going to get their first UFC fighter here. Give me the dog, plus 220. Yeah, dog hunting didn't work in Bellator, but it's boded well for us in Dana White Contender Series when you find them right. So I like his ability to get a finish, get the knockout. I'm going to take him on the money line because he's plus 220, but I would even go with the KO TKO because, as you know, Dana loves the knockouts, and for you to get a contract, it seems you have to find a way to finish. And I think the same can be said for the next fight in the middleweight division. Yurizri Belegri, the babyface assassin. I mean, he's fought the who's who of K1 kickboxing, glory. I mean, you name it. He is a prize fighter to the full extent, and they think he's so educated on the feet that he is a minus 400 favorite against Taiga Iwasaki at plus 300. And he's a last-minute replacement. Yeah, Iwasaki, he has good grappling, and he does have the ability to stand and bang, but I just think he's going to fall into too much danger with Belegri. Let's go with the babyface assassin yet again via KO TKO. And I mean, even squeeze the odds down. I think he even catch him early. I would go with a first round KO TKO. That's how high I think of him. And I think he finally makes it to the UFC. And now for the co-main event, it's in the lightweight division. Kwemel Otani, he's been here. He's been waiting for our opponent to step in, and here he gets his wish granted. Be careful what you wish for. Cody Steele, undefeated newcomer, is a jiu-jitsu guy, not a stand-up fighter. You know, he's a little undersized, I think, for this 155-pound division, but he's getting the favorite odds at minus 244, and he's sipping on a last-minute short notice. I get the, undefeated record. I get, the Brazilian jiu-jitsu background and the capability to grapple. And, I like my wrestlers and my grapplers. I'm biased towards them. But what did I say before? Dana White's not taking too many guys, into the UFC if you don't get a finish. So I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to take another value pick with the dog and Kwemel Otani. He's been here, been ready for this chance. And I like the plus 195 odds. I think he can get the win here. My only question is how Cody Steele is going to perform. Is he going to be competitive? Is he, going to try to make a name for himself? The grappling / striking, clash of style we're going to see here could go, do a decision either way. I'm taking the plus money with the dog, but I'm also going to say that he'll win via decision, which causes some concern for me to say that, the grappling may find its way here and Cody still could find a path to victory. So I'm kind of a toss up, but I'm going to take dog money and I'm going to take him getting a decision win. So in the main event, it's in the 205-pound weight class. That's light
big
heavyweight.
boys.
Yeah. Navajo Sterling steps in on short notice as well. Minus 166 to the favorite of Philip Latu, who is plus 185. And Navajo Sterling, man, being favored in this spot, stepping in a short notice, I think maybe a well-rounded game, but just not as talented when it comes to the knockout department. I'm going with another dog. Dogs are barking yet again. I got 3 on you. I got the one heavy favorite. I stayed away from one, but I'm taking Philip Latu to find his way into the UFC with a knockout. We bring it back after a decision fight in the co-main event. I got him on the money line at plus 185, but I would even hunt for the KO TKO. And those who got the knockout, I only have 3 of them getting the knockout. I think we only get 3 contracts. So I'm taking a bold prediction because if we only see some knockouts, a couple knockouts, 2 or 3, those are going to be the ones that get selected into the UFC and not the decision wins.
Love it. Joe, good luck. Do we have an updated record through the first 4 weeks of the Dana White Contender?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm 11-9 currently. So after Tuesday night, we'll see where I am with after the 4 plays.
Hopefully we're up and hopefully we hit on some of those plus money, kid. I appreciate it.
To be positive in the green, not seeing any of them in the UFC ever before.
Pretty good.
Not too bad.
Pretty good. Only news I got, no 10 seconds left. We're not forcing it here on a Sunday. Not much to go on during the week, so we'll always have it during our Friday episode from here on out. Only news I got for you, Joe, and for all the listeners here on a Sunday, we're about an hour before kickoff. The awful news we got Friday, the retirement of one of the legends in the sport, Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse. From a tough background to becoming one of the greatest of all time, Demetrius Johnson, he was raised by his deaf mother. He met his sister for the first time in middle school, and that's when his sister actually told him their mother was deaf. He met his sister for the first time in middle school. Like I said, he met his father for the first time in 2017 at the age of 31. 0 drug tests failed. First ever UFC flyweight champion. Most consecutive title defenses in UFC history, 11. Most submissions in the UFC title fights. Tied with John Jones for the most UFC title defenses. 5th most takedowns landed in UFC history. He also went on to become the 1 flyweight champion as well. I mean, Joe, what a legendary career.
Bro.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah, and thank you, DJ. Mighty Mouse is one of the greatest fighters of all time, the purest example of what the human body can do and what martial arts is capable of. I mean, followed his career from the beginning, and I mean, he's just so special. He got a special place in my heart. And yeah, everything you mentioned is all the accomplishment. He is the first and only one championship Hall of Fame inductee. So he got that nod. He's a guaranteed shoe in for the UFC. I don't, Dana White, kind of hated him when he was the champion. If you don't remember this, I think now
they brought in Henry Cejudo to try to get him out of there.
Yeah, but I think now Dana White needs to appreciate him. Granted, what happened with the trade and losing himself like that, he was a valuable asset for the company. He did so much for there. It didn't make sense for him to have that bad taste in his mouth for the lighter guys, because to this day, 125-pound weight class is one of the most exciting weight classes there is. And I think this is courtesy of Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. I mean, he made it what it is today. We shouldn't lose this lightweight, that's light flyweight, these light guys in there competing the way they compete. Speed kills. I think it's just super entertaining. You can't have the heavyweights fight a mile high in Denver like they did at 168, or when we are in there for Denver for the UFC fights. You put the 125ers in there and you have a show, because they have the ability to keep going and going and going. And Mighty Mouse was the purest example of that. So yeah, thank you. Go kill it in BJJ. Now he said he's off to gi jiu-jitsu, and he has a love for that. And that's what you could do as a fighter. I see that in the future for Sean O'Malley. If you keep competing in jiu-jitsu, you have a career post-fighting. You have a career in whatever it is, whether it's teaching or if it's, competing with masters or whatever rank you are. There's a lot for you outside of your career fighting. And, Mighty Mouse is just the purest example of that. I love the guy to death.
100%. I mean, he's doing amazing things on his YouTube channel as well. It's just called Mighty 15X. Practicing
15 times.
Remember that exactly. He just had a great interview with the legend Chael Sonnen, Robert Whitaker, Bobby Knuckles. So he's doing a really good thing over at YouTube as well. Thank you for everything. I mean, incredible career. I hope he enjoys retirement now with his family. You got to put him in the UFC Hall of Fame. I'm glad you mentioned that. I mean,
he deserves to be in a Hall of Fame for honestly everything.
There should be a
gaming Hall of Fame, Twitch streaming. Like he's already the one championship Hall of Fame. He's going to be in the UFC. I would even put him in the Pioneer division, which is crazy to say because I think he's like a modern, but I would put him in the Pioneer division because, I mean, where was the weight class before him and where is it now? Right? Exactly. So like he put it on the map and made it not only for the UFC, but for every other promotion around the world, made a place for these light guys, the lightweight guys, flyweights, the lighter guys to, have a place, have a home and be able to compete other guys their size. So man, enough can't be said about DJ. He's just a consummate professional. Your favorite fighter's favorite fighter. He's one of those guys, he's so cerebral and maybe he could be a coach. It was tough for him talking about Matt Hume. If you don't know, Matt Hume was his sensei, was his, mentor through all those years. And DJ, to me, just the way he's so intelligent and gets in there and just has a love for this sport, I feel like he can also himself bring in the next wave of fighters.
100%. And I want to do a fun activity before we go. We don't got any 10 seconds left. Now, I'm going to give you mine, and then you think about it while I give mine. I want to do Mount Rushmore of UFC fighters. We'll do men and women. We'll start with the men. Obviously, in no particular order, I think it's easy for me, and I'll go first, and I'll let you go.
Is it just UFC, or is it MMA?
Yeah, no, UFC.
Okay, UFC.
John Jones, no particular order. John Jones, Demetrius Johnson, GSP, and Anderson Silva. If I could add a fifth, I almost put him in there, the King of Rio, Jose Aldo, for what he did for 10 years. But I think it's easy. The first four on my Mount Rushmore for men's UFC.
I like that a lot. And I hate to just follow suit, but I mean, that's a perfect Mount Rushmore for the UFC. Directly to UFC. Mixed martial arts can open up a little bit. And Jose Aldo's right there looking in, but I think he's kind of like an Ichiro. You know what I mean? Hall of Famer in both. He fought half of his career when they didn't have those weight classes in WEC. So, that doesn't take anything away. Obviously, the UFC owns everything WEC and the fighters and all that. But I just feel like he might just lose by a hair. Conor took away everything he did in those 13 years in 13 seconds. And that still stands tall. I don't think we've seen that happen to the 4 guys you mentioned. You know, every time they had a loss, they got it back. So, it's hard to compete or deny that Mount Rushmore of John Jones, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, Johnny Bones Jones, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, George Rush St. Pierre, and Anderson the Spider Silva. Those 4 are kind of perfect.
Now, women, I also thought was easy, and again, UFC only. Now, you because you've obviously watched this since the beginning of time. I'm new 4 or 5 years into it, but going back and thinking about it, I thought this one was easy too, in no particular order. And obviously, they're all subject to change over time, of course. One, or no particular order, but I'm just naming them: Amanda Nunes,
Yeah.
Joanna Jędrzejczyk,
Yeah.
Valentina Shevchenko, and Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, I like Joanna Champion. I like Amanda Nunes, and I like Ronda.
I knew you didn't like Valentina though.
Shevchenko, though, man. I know she beat Joanna Jędrzejczyk in the Muay Thai racket, but I mean, she was such a dominant champion in there. It's hard to say that she wasn't. I like it. I agree with it. The only thing I could say, yeah, you're right. You got to put Valentina Shevchenko, man. I was gonna say just based off merit, but like if I was gonna have my other qualifications, I couldn't put like Chris Cyborg. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
she was my 5th.
She's not. She's definitely mixed martial arts, but being that she had 1 career or 2 career fights in the UFC,
it was 2.
Yeah, it just doesn't bode well for her being on the UFC's Mount Rushmore. But definitely has done a lot for women's martial arts. Can't deny that, but I agree. You know what? As a matter of fact, Valentina Shevchenko, looking at the title fences, looking back, just being a killer that she was, the knockouts that you normally don't see with women, bro. I think that's a perfect Mount. I think you hit 2 perfect UFC.
Wow, thank you. Only going into the sport 4 or 5 years, I like it. I appreciate that. Coming from you, watching it since we were in middle school, so I love it. I thought it was a fun little exercise before we get up out of here.
And Holly Lahome laughing over him.
Yeah, I almost put her in too. Any last words before we get up out of here, kid?
Hey, just watch some football. Yeah. and the Mets are making the damn playoffs, baby. Let's do this.
The vibes were amazing yesterday.
Yeah, the game was good.
Yeah, game was good. 9 in a row. We're going for 10 in a row, baby. The energy, I'll tell you, in September in the stadium is loud. It's loud right now.
Nobody wants to play there.
No one wants to play the Mets right now. I fucking love it. Joe, thank you so much. Good luck. God bless. And let's go Jets, baby.